Yo, Ma! How good was that? Round of applause, Tino, with the new intro. How good?
That was unbelievable.
That was awesome. I'm
Heard he was
feeling all
actually on the
buzzy and all funky.
saxophone too.
Yeah, man, on that Yaz sax. That was good stuff. But welcome to the PAC Show, the rugby show, proudly brought to you by PAC Athletic Club and DoubleTake Sports, the show that brings you all the highlights, the lowlights, reviews, previews, news, and interviews, and also exclusive friends from rugby here in Australia and around the world. My name's Jay Ball. Joining us tonight, we are rammed to the gills. We've got Zachy on the ones and twos, Tino at the back there. We've also got Dos, we've got Dallin, we've got Big Fat Das and Friends, and all the way from Lautoka, we've got Fraser. Mick Wright, how are you, Fraser?
Yeah, good, mate. Bulla.
Voila.
I'll say it twice.
How good is this? Round of applause, everyone. I'm very excited. Fraser, thanks so much for joining us, man. You
Pleasure.
flew in, what, like 2 nights ago?
Yeah, Saturday night.
Loose, mate.
Yeah.
How you feeling? How's the body feeling, man? You feeling good?
Yeah, body's feeling good. Not too sore, but yeah, it's pretty hot out there, so pretty got to put on some fluids into me, and then be sweet.
Mate, you're looking pretty tan, actually.
Yeah, some good sun over there. Me and Hamish, Mum calls us tan twins, so UV7, good enough. You don't burn. Just get out there all day.
That's nice, man. That's real nice. Well, you saw from our new intro all the highlights that we're going to be discussing this week, because there's been some crazy shit going on in rugby. New Zealand losing 2 test matches in a row for the first time in 20 plus years. They're losing their first series to the Irish at home. It's been huge. Obviously, England won the Ella Mobs Cup, the Pacific Nations Cup. That was ridiculous as well. Samoa taking that out. So we're going to go across all that sort of stuff as well. Also West Aussies. But we're going to get to everything else. But before we get into it, obviously there was some huge upsets over the weekend, and we saw that. We've got to start, Dos. New Zealand losing to the Irish. 2 losses in a row for the first time since 1998. Yeah. Their first series loss since 1994 in New Zealand. Mate, they are in all sorts, but the Irish, how unbelievable were they?
Yeah, I think so. A lot of the chat post-game was, what's going to happen with Ian Foster, New Zealand rugby, etc. But, man, the Irish were there to play. I mean, their attacking shape at the moment, they're manipulating space around the field like no other team in world rugby with the maestro Johnny Sexton, old grandpa, 37 years old.
37
just
years
pulling
old.
the strings still. Mate, mightily impressive.
And now, Dallin, number 1 team in the world. They've leapfrogged France. New Zealand is falling. What is happening?
I think it's exciting. Obviously, this Northern Hemisphere, as you discussed a couple of weeks ago, really starting to step up. We're seeing Scotland win. We're seeing Wales do pretty well, but the Irish are doing a fantastic job. I think led extremely well by Peter Amani there, and Jonathan Sexton's doing an outstanding job. I think it's exciting. You know what I mean? They got some good young kids coming through as well, and they're priming themselves, for a big year.
I think, and also, they've got the good young kids coming through, and those young kids, they haven't been exposed to this All Blacks aura or, Southern Hemisphere rugby aura that I think maybe previously existed. Yeah. And they're coming in with this French mindset, man, just to play some footy.
Well, they hadn't won in 115 odd years against the All Blacks, and now they're 4 from 7 in the last 6. So they're doing pretty well. Friends, you have the most sinister smile on your face. How do you feel about this one, mate?
I walked in this morning and the scaffolders couldn't look at me. I'm looking at the Stone Boys, they couldn't look at me. And I just said it was short of a show. Top of the morning.
Stone Boys.
The Stone Masons.
The Stone Masons.
Stoned.
No. But anyway, it was just good to walk in on site this morning. And I didn't even have to say anything at the start. I just started smiling, and they were off me.
Well, all the news is obviously revolving around Ian Foster.
He was actually going to be my rugby, because what he's done for the confidence of Australian rugby is just absolutely phenomenal, right?
But can't everyone just applaud Ireland for beating them?
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like, they just got beaten. They got beaten fair and square.
Yes,
It wasn't,
resounding.
they got a red card in the last game, but the second last game, but the last game, what was your excuse?
Their attack was ordinary. They had no cohesion from what it looked like, and Ireland they looked like the number 1 team in the world. Like, you can't take anything away from Ireland, but it's good to see the Kiwis.
It's just good. It's good to watch, isn't it?
It is, man.
Welcome. You know what I mean?
Welcome to the bottom of the barrel. And then we saw, obviously, the Wallabies 17-21 went down to England, as we alluded to earlier on. They picked up for the first time the Ella Mobs Cup, formerly the Cook Cup. Dow, disappointing.
Yeah, I think everyone was pretty deflated post. I think there was such high expectations after that first game, and then second game, I thought we, just got outclassed in that first little bit, but we were still in the game. And it's a similar scenario this time. We had our opportunities and we just didn't quite execute. Obviously, we got a large injury toll, but it's no excuse. Do you know what I mean? Going out there like that, and I think at times we looked a little bit one-dimensional. Do you know what I mean? If it wasn't Marika and it wasn't Samu, do you know what I mean? There wasn't a lot going on, so. Things to work on, but I still, like what's happened in the last couple of games. I think there's a lot to like about what's happening, but we've got to win games.
Well, touching on that, Eddie Jones came out and said, and Corny Laws were both saying we thought they were going to be going expansive, and then Dave Rennie actually came out and said we were probably too expansive and we didn't exploit the space inside the ruck like they did with Slipper to Tupou early on in the game. They didn't take those chances, so probably out-coached at the end of the day. Eddie Jones tends to do that. But, Fraze, have you had a chance to chat to any of the boys in that Wallaby squad? Obviously, you were over playing with Australia A, but have you had a chance to have a yarn to anybody to get their feelings on it, or
like the last game, or just like the feeling
just
of the
in
whole...
general? Because obviously it's been a tumultuous month for them. I think double digits injuries, players coming and going. Like there's been a lot of ups and downs over the last month for the whole Wallabies squad.
Yeah, I think I've been in sort of comms with Wilson and Tatey here and there. Obviously, they're two different, pretty same stories, right? They only played that last game, so probably a bit frustrating. They couldn't lace up the boots for the first two games. But then that last game, didn't really speak to Wills too much. He just sort of spoke about his game, and then Tatey said he got about 20, and then it was just a bit frustrating when he came on. Couldn't really do too much, and England smothered our ball in the breakdown, which they did very well. That's
what they did perfectly. Their breakdown pressure was immense, and that was without Don Brandt, Underhill, and Tom Curry. So they were running arguably close to a third string back row, and their breakdown is really what won it for them.
I thought when Tatey came on, he sort of lifted the tempo a bit. I sort of liked what I saw when he came on, at least. But like you said, after the series, I thought like it was like they just played well, especially in that last game. If you can't penetrate the defence, like what do you do? Farrell can kick from
and that's
60
what I
metres
think,
out.
And that's what I think. And you mentioned it before, J-Ball. The attack comes under the spotlight. You go two or three passages in the game where the Wallabies go over 15, 16 phases, and not once without Samu maybe getting through the line or Marika doing something did they actually look threatening for 18 phases. I mean, the spotlight then has to come on. All right, who are our game callers? What's our attack shape look like? And you mentioned it before. I think for me, Tate probably needs to start. Noah probably didn't.
I was going to
grasp the
say,
opportunity as much.
Do you
as
think it's
you would have
different
liked.
with Quade Cooper there?
100%. I think if Quade's there at 10, Tate probably starts because Quade brings that element of calmness and control, and he'll just let Tatey do his thing around the breakdown.
That's pretty indicative of Quade's game. Like he, for lack of a better term, he never really used to be the guy you would say would have that control because he was so free flowing and he'd be so off the cuff. Whereas now we saw last year he guided us to 5 wins in a row based on his calm, collective footy. So I think that's obviously highlights his maturity. But as you said, I reckon we have him at 10. Nothing against Noah Lolosio, as we said in that first game.
It was
awesome
a good series for him, I thought. Like he played well.
Noah was all right, man.
But I reckon it was good for his experience, like from last year.
Yeah.
But I think we have Quade there at 10, or even James O'Connor. It probably would have been different. I think we did lack really a very experienced head at 10 just directing traffic a bit.
I mean, directing, and I think also, when you have that amount of possession, QC's a guy who likes to play with the ball in his hands. Yeah. So he's getting lots of touches on the ball. When you got that much possession, the more he's touching it, the more he's creating opportunities. I'm not saying they win, but he's creating opportunities. They may drop the ball through the gap or whatever it may be, but at least you're firing shots. I felt like Australia didn't fire enough shots.
Yeah, I was remember watching it one moment going, we've had the ball for so long here. There's been so many phases. Surely someone's going to infringe. No one infringed and lost the ball. Like,
no.
Damn it.
The Poms were very, very good
so
at the breakdown. Good. Dogs, mate. Killing me.
I thought Vunivalu could have done more in his 2 minutes. 2 minutes and 10 seconds he was on.
I was waiting for you to chime in, Das. I was waiting for you to chime in.
He got his cap though.
Yeah, good cap.
Good
Yeah,
cap.
he got his cap.
6. Now he has to stay here for at least 3 years. Got him. Got him. Hell yeah. Well, that actually, at the end of the day, the 4 test series going on at the one time, we were talking about it. Friends, obviously, Southern Hemisphere killed it first round. Northern Hemisphere came back in that second, and then ended up being a 50-50 split with Wales going down to the South Africa. But the Argies, with a down by 15 in the 50th minute, coming back for a 82nd minute try to Boffelli to win it. So 50-50 split. Argies on top. Same with
How old is Boffelli?
28.
Okay.
He's been around for ages.
Yeah, feels like he's been around forever.
Yeah.
I swear I used to play with him on Bloody 08 or something.
But, I mean, that's pretty indicative, actually, of the state of the game. Dow, you sort of touched on it before. I mean, any team can win on the day. You look at the world rankings, and you've got Ireland and France on top, then South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, England. Like, it's very congested 50-50 split, Northern Hemisphere to Southern Hemisphere. That can only be good for the game.
Yeah, I think it's massive for the game, especially leading into a World Cup next year. You want it to be close. You want the pools to be really competitive. And I think that's what we're kind of moving forward and looking at the moment. What I want to see is, you look at the North and the South. Why can't we have a test match series, North versus South? Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Why can't we bring something like that together to build the game and to make it a little bit more special? Let's settle the debate forever. Make that an annual thing or a biannual thing. I think it just grows the game and into another level.
What you're saying, like a select side from Northern
Yeah.
Hemisphere, a select side from Southern Hemisphere.
Absolutely.
Epic.
That would be sick.
So like
Yeah.
now, say for instance, we've all had 3-match test series. All right, let's pick. You know what I mean? 2 teams.
No penalty goals either. No penalty goals. And short arms. Just heaps of short arms.
And make it over a 2 or 3 week period and make a test series. I think it'd be really exciting. I know the schedule's obviously really tight and understand that, but it's got to find a way to try and fit that in.
Yeah, that would be so sick.
Played in
Like
neutral
2
territory.
Yeah, neutral territory, that'd be pretty cool.
Like 2
in
years
America,
after-
something like that.
Ooh, speaking of America.
Or Chile.
Yeah, maybe we go to Chile because we saw on the weekend Chile have qualified for the World Cup by beating the US on aggregate. They lost by 1 in the first game and won by 2 in the second, and now they're in the World Cup, and the US has to go to a repechage to make the World Cup, and they're hosting the World Cup in 5 years' time. That's hectic.
Hilarious.
No, 5, 10, 8, 9 years' time. Nailed that. That was good, man.
One of those numbers. One of those.
That was pretty good, you got to admit. I added 5 and 4.
You did, mate. I would have been
Smart
stuff.
boy.
I would have exploded.
But what happens there, Tal? I mean, we piss and moan about how good the MLR is and the US Eagles 7-side. Man, they're 15s. Hate to say it, but they're not much chop, and they are regressing pretty fast.
That's not the first time either. I'm pretty sure they've lost to Uruguay. They
They
to
lost
Chile
to Uruguay
twice,
last year. They lost to Brazil. But, I mean, look at Canada and the US used to run North American footy, and Canada aren't going to the World Cup for the first time ever.
What's happening in Chile? Like honestly,
I don't know.
who would have known they played rugby
I don't know.
enough to beat US?
I only knew
Makes you
because a
think.
dude came down and played 3rd grade there, and he played for the Chile side, and he played down 3rd grade at Westlake 6 years ago. Nicholas Herrera.
Herrera, yeah.
Yeah. He was a good dude.
Good dude.
But like that was the standard of footy. It's like this dude's like, yeah, I played for
grade,
Chile. We're like, cool, go down to 4th grade, work your way up. I think make it first. But like,
So the Chileans just full of good dudes.
yeah,
100%.
I guess
Good
so.
culture, good
And the
culture.
US is full of 4th graders, I guess. I don't know. But like, I don't know what's going on, man. But like,
USA are too worried about who runs the 40-meter sprint and who's the best squatter and stuff like that.
well, there was the whole issue that 5 years ago that the original incarnation of professional footy over there, whatever that was called, I can't remember. That was just a dodgy dude, former Wall Street banker, just promising the world and delivering an atlas and all this sort of stuff. And then MLR popped up, and then they
Atlas
found
like
out the US rugby are bankrupt, and they're like, oh shit, glad we created this professional code then. So they're in disarray from an administrative point of view, which I think is starting to trickle down to the players. But I don't know, man. But like they're hosting the World
Makes
Cup
you laugh.
in 4, 5, 9 years' time. So like they're probably going to have to sort something out because they
cares?
should be the sleeping giant of world rugby, and at the moment they're still dozing pretty hard.
They need Harry Higgins back.
Yeah, they do.
Harry Higgins
Mate, he's been killing
to
it.
head the program. So
Mate,
surely
they
it's
would
like-
regress massively. They're like, we're having a training camp and no one shows up because they're all
Colombia.
just bending somewhere. Yeah.
Or wherever.
Yeah,
Chile.
Chile. I mean, yeah.
Altitude. you know
Nicholas
what
Herrera. And a good news story from the weekend just gone as well. Mark Young, who joined the Canberra Royals as a fresh-faced 8-year-old, recently played his 500th senior game for the Canberra Royals. He's 45 years old. We know someone else who's played, 400-odd games
Don't
by
name
the
him.
age
Don't
of
name him.
mid-30s, but...
Don't name him.
Don't dead name him.
But how good is this? 500 senior grade games for the Canberra Royals. You got to give a
Yeah.
shout out to Mark
Yeah,
Young
big
for that,
time.
Dossie boy.
I know.
How good's that?
What I want to know is
What
who
position
does he hit? Who does he sit second behind?
I don't know,
Yeah.
but it says he sits seconds behind someone else who's played ACT Cup games. I was like, and you don't name that dude, man.
Google more.
Yeah, he must be older than Granddad's ball sack. That dude, man, that's crazy. Who's played more than 500 games?
I don't know.
Oh.
Phenomenal effort, though.
Mate, that's awesome. So a round of applause for Mark Young from down at the Canberra Royals playing those 500 games. And then obviously we've got to discuss the Pacific Nations Cup. Was it Pacific Nations Cup? Yep. So we saw on the weekend just gone, Fiji. Obviously your boys' phrase, we'll get to that, getting up over Tonga. But Samoa coming away with the championship after an upset win over Fiji, 23 points to 20. Friends, this was loose.
Yeah, it was good. It was a bloody good series. I watched all the games and I enjoyed it a lot. I loved seeing the whole Australia A thing come back, seeing the boys play over there. It looked very hot.
Who would have picked Samoa before the start of this tournament to
I didn't write 'em off.
win it?
No.
You can't write them off, but you've got
You
Tonga
did with
with
that Fiji team. Remember you were like,
Oh,
yeah.
You wrote
I didn't
everyone
write
off.
No, I didn't write them off, but I'm just saying I thought Fiji...
No, you had.
Why
Why don't you tell
On
Fraser
pa-
what
you-
you said?
Yeah.
Mate,
Tell
on,
me.
on
Yeah.
paper, they looked pretty good.
No, tell him what you
Fiji's-
said.
Oh, come on,
What'd I
be
say?
honest.
And then Tino can tell him what he said as well.
Oh, yeah, no. I thought they were
This
gonna win.
This Fiji team's going to smash those Aussies.
I didn't say that. I said I think they're going to win.
And then Tino said Fiji would beat the Wallabies.
Tino did
Hey,
say
everyone
that.
said a lot of things, right?
We've all said a lot of things. Like I said last week, West are going to win the premiership, and then they lose to East.
But you were going to shave your... What were you going to do?
Shave my ball sack.
No, you're going to shave just the full-blown, the Amish beard, but just the chin strap.
Just a chin strap like
Bleach
Craig
it.
David. Hell yeah. And then if you guys lose, you have to shave your head. So
Well,
you
we're
look
not
like
going to,
me.
so it doesn't really matter.
You're not going to, because doggies. Oh man, can't stand.
You'll be
it, eh?
fine, man.
No, I won't. But then your boys, obviously Fraser, getting that win over Tonga. You guys, as a whole, you'd be lamenting that loss. I know before we went live, you were talking about it, lamenting that loss to Samoa in that first game. Very tough to have that taken away from you in the 82nd minute after the hooter.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of positives from the comp though. I think the comp as a whole was awesome. Australia A being back there, I think since I don't know when
2012,
2008 or
Nah.
something.
Or was it 08?
8 or 9, yeah.
Yeah, so for over a decade and just good getting to meet a lot of new boys that probably haven't played a lot of rugby with. You come across them in Super, but then actually get to know them and spend 3 weeks with them, become quite close. So probably why we did so well.
How good is it? Uncovered a few guys, in my opinion. in
Lungy
that team.
Gleeson.
Lungy Gleeson was
The man.
insane.
The
Freak, yeah. Killed it.
Peach?
Dylan
Dylan Peach,
Peach.
my
He
roomie.
was good.
Was he your roomie?
Yeah, shout out to Rooms. Yeah, he was good.
John C. Riley, you know the guy out of Step Brothers.
yeah.
The other one, not Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Not Will.
Sort of.
Hey, I'll explain it.
The
other one.
No,
The other guy.
Yeah, Lungy Gleeson, mate.
Yeah,
He was
Killed it.
killing people on the weekend.
yeah.
He was very good.
But yeah, your thoughts on the competition and then the Australia A program having come back. We've discussed it. We think it's obviously a really good thing to see guys like yourself and obviously Lungy Gleeson getting up there and Hamish Stewart and Lalakai Fiketti, guys who probably we knew are of that Wallaby standard, get to play against other international sides and not sort of go back to clubland. It must be good to be able to play to that standard as many times as possible if you're not in that higher squad.
Yeah, I think going into the comp, I think a lot of boys didn't probably know what to expect. Obviously, hadn't been around since 2008, and I think boys were sort of a bit iffy about it going to Fiji 3 weeks with a lot of people you haven't met before, and coaching staff that hadn't been together. Obviously, a few boys like myself, I know all the coaching staff really well, so I knew what they were going to deliver, and it was a great camp. I think they made it what it was, and that's why we did so well. The culture was great, off-field was really good. When footy was on, it was footy, but after footy there was nothing on. So you're in Fiji when Silva and Andy, so we're able to get out, and we had a few locals in in Filippo and Seru, and Peachy's been there heaps with the Sevens, so they were able to get out and show us the ropes, and there was a lot to do, and the people over in Fiji are fantastic. They're so kind and genuine, so I think they probably loved having us over there as well.
And Jason Gilmore was obviously the coach over there. I've been waxing lyrical about just how good of a coach he really is. Do you think, because obviously he's still just an assistant down there at the Tars, DC's killing it. Do you think there are higher honours for him, say, in the Super Rugby fold as a head coach anytime soon? Do you think he's up to that standard?
Yeah, definitely. I love Gilly, and I had him for 20s and I had him for here, and I don't think his coaching's changed. I think what Gilly's really good at is his connection with the boys. I think that's pretty important, especially as a head coach role. I think you've got to be able to empathise and be able to read your players, and he does that really well. And he's able to deliver motivational speeches, and as you do as a head coach. But he also understands the game really well, both on the ball and off the ball. And obviously, from all the reports from the Tars boys, DC's a great coach. And they love Gilly, so I think they're working really well in tandem. So I think Gilly's really happy where he is at the moment, but I'm sure in the future that's probably his end goal. He wants to coach somewhere, and what he said to me, he wants to win somewhere. So if he keeps doing what he's doing, then I'm sure he'll get there.
How was the physicality in those games? There's some big hits getting around there.
Yeah, that first game against Samoa, we played at 1 o'clock in Silva.
I was about to say what time we got.
And I think the game on Saturday was probably worse because it was at 12, but we played at 1, and we honestly probably didn't know what to expect. We flew in on Coogee the following Sunday, so we had 3 sessions to prep for that game. And then, the first 20 minutes was bash fest. And that probably showed in the viewing. And then, as you know, as sort of the big boys sort of get, as the game goes, further on and gets hotter, or it's hot, you kind of wear them out. You learn to just don't run at them, work them around the corner.
Learn that pretty quickly.
Go from there. But physicality was up there.
Well, you reckon? Obviously, we've asked a question to a few people, but just the minor Pacifica and all that. Do you reckon that's made a massive difference with, especially those Pacific Island teams?
Yeah, definitely. I think Fiji's different. Obviously, the drills there, and they had I think they had 11 or 15 uncapped players, but they also have a lot of talent overseas. And I think just having them in the Super Rugby, in the game, they get to experience playing against other Super Rugby teams, which is great, especially against the Kiwis, and against a lot of the names in the Australian A side. They sort of know what's coming. But it was just a great, showcasing of talent. It was awesome.
And Fraser, the Rugby Championship, obviously the next big tournament coming up, that squad will get announced, I'm assuming, sometime this week or in the near future. Have you received, or do you guys get any feedback from the Wallabies staff, I guess, throughout the tournament, and even more importantly, over the last couple of days in terms of how you're going, where you're sort of sitting? Are you a look in, or do you just wait to see if the squad's announced and then they start giving the feedback?
Yeah, I think you sort of, obviously, I'm not too sure what the movement's going to be around the squad. Obviously, I think each player is probably a bit different. I had Dave sort of messaged me after we beat Fiji and just said, well done. And Tatsy's, he's been saying, good luck before each game and well done. And I'm not too sure about the squad. I know I've spoken to Wilson and Tatey about when they come back together. So I think they've got 10 days off or something like that. So I assume they'll probably have a few days, and I don't think the squad will be too dissimilar. I think it'll be quite similar, and we'll just have to see, I suppose.
Just wait and see.
Well, I want to get your thoughts, Fraser, because so many people, I think a lot of us included, Higgers especially, was disappointed to see you miss out on that Wallabies squad. And we know Michael Hooper, the talismanic leader of the Wallabies, is obviously in front of you. What are your thoughts on it? Do you, obviously you would have been upset any chance you get to be a part of a Wallaby squad, must be awesome, but do you think there was probably more value in you not riding pine or just holding hit shields for the last month, but actually being able to not just play against these sides, but you were a leader a lot in that squad? Do you think there was probably more value in you being in Australia A at this time of your career than being with the Wallabies over the past month? Yeah,
well, I think my position is quite unique, right? Obviously, I'm behind the Australian captain. He's going to play every minute, and he's still playing at a super high level of footy. So, obviously I was super gutted. I wanted to be in the Wallaby squad, that's for sure. I did hide that. I wanted to play there, and I thought I earned the spot. But and that's what I said earlier. I didn't know quite how Fiji was going to go, going away for 3 weeks and going as as Australia A. But in hindsight, looking back on it, it was awesome. Yeah, I loved every minute of it. I thought, like I said, the coaching group and just the culture of the the boys and the standard of boys we had made it everything it was. People there who are wanting to push higher into the Wallabies. There are also boys there who just want to represent Australia in senior footy. And I think obviously it was quite serious when it had to be serious, but it was also quite fun and it wasn't too tense. I think that made it just really enjoyable, and you got to go back and actually just enjoy rugby. And I think for me, looking back on it, I think those 3 tests were great. I'd much rather play some footy, and I think obviously that's why I was there to play rugby. Looking back on it, I wouldn't have played over the past 3 games if I played against England. So I think playing's a lot better, especially the calibre of teams that were over there, Tonga, Samoa and Fiji. I think it was great, and hopefully I can get back in the Wallaby squad, but I'm not too sure what's going to happen, all the movements that's going to happen. So hopefully I can get some feedback and then just go from there. Hopefully I can lace up the boots for brothers sometime soon and go from there.
Get out.
Yuck. Just to confirm, so there's no breaking news, you haven't answered any roommate.com ads from Hamish Stewart or Alex Murphy. Just to confirm, let's just get it out of the way. We don't want to drop any bombs. No?
Well, he was on tour, but nothing on.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure. All right.
Was there any particular player in any of the teams that you did play where you're just like, geez, I'm sick of trying to tackle you? That stuck in your mind at all?
The 12 and 13 for Fiji, the captain.
Watia?
Yep, and Sida?
Tamanivalu.
Sorry. Yeah. They I was outside on the line out, so every time they had the ball, it looked like they were coming for me. And I remember the first carry I had, I was just it was a pretty slow 1 off 10, and I just see 12 shoot at me, and I'm just going, and then I just had to quickly get jammed in, and I was like, okay, here we go. It's the first 2 minutes, and then those were pretty big boys.
Mate, he's a
Watia
He's
nuts,
a weapon.
He's one of my favourite
His
players.
highlight package of hits as a 7,
Yeah.
mate.
Yeah.
The one he did in Tonga, I think it was a couple of years ago.
Yep.
He just ended someone.
Yeah.
He was just out. He was just out to put hits on.
And his
you
calves just look like big blocks of granite
Yeah.
and his skinny little ankles and big old muscle. But on a serious note, Fraser, I do want to get your thoughts on it. I mean, it was announced here a couple of weeks ago, Marv, talking about Hamish. No, but I want to get your thoughts on it, because I know that obviously you're over there with Hamish, and more so from a point of view that Hamish is in a red squad that is really, really quite young. You've lost, or it looks like you're probably going to lose someone of the experience of Hamish. Do you think if he is to sign on the dotted line, which from all accounts it is going to happen, it just needs to obviously get over the line, losing someone like that, is that going to leave a big hole, do you think, with just by way of his experience, or do you think you've got the likes of your Hunter Paisami, Shorty Pataya, Jock Campbell are coming through that are going to be able to sort of cover that sort of experience hole?
Isaac Henry.
Love Zachy Henry.
He's good.
Yeah, obviously, not too sure what's going to happen. Obviously, there's a lot of stories out there, so I think we just got to wait and see. But yeah, I think obviously Hamish, he's a good mate of mine, so just his character is going to be solely missed, and obviously how he performs. I think he's someone who puts in 100%, whether that's training and whether that's on the game. Like everyone can see it, he puts his body on the line as a 12, and he's making lots of tackles, hitting lots of rucks, so he's definitely going to be missed. But the squad we have at the Reds is awesome. You look at the centre depth. Zachy's coming through, and it was unfortunate about Zachy, not being able to play that Australian A game, but coming in, and then there was also, Hunter, Geordie, a lot of depth, and hopefully we can and Fluky as well once he recovers from a shoulder. So there's a lot of gems there. So we just got to keep finding the right combinations, and hopefully they can work their magic.
And the progression from Clubland's been unbelievable. Look at Smitty and Matty Fessler alone coming through Clubland, just blokes wearing high vis, rocking up to training in their high vis, and now moving into the Australia A setup. It doesn't get much better than that.
I think it's awesome. I think it's just
And that's something the Reds have done brilliantly over the last few years.
And I think that's that's a credit to Thorny. I think he's able to sort of have this sort of eyes for the people and what they got, and he proves them right. So I think it's a credit to Fez and Smithy and Law's got the call up as well. So it's all these boys who are taking their opportunity when they get it, and then coming over. And obviously there's higher honours out there. And that's a great thing about Australian A being back, is that it's just a little bit of a stepping stool to get to the Wallabies. And I know that's everyone's pretty much goal. And that's why you stick around in Super Rugby now. So I think, if they're able to keep putting the way they're doing, there's definitely spots, especially with the British and Irish and the World Cup coming up.
Yeah, but Matty Fessler, he did he even have a gig at the beginning of the year? He was just going down around Randwick and play, wasn't he? And then look at now.
Yeah.
How cool's that?
Yeah, awesome.
It's great, and I mean it proves that if you bide your time in Premier Club Rugby, these guys are presenting a pathway for these young and up and coming players coming through. And I think an important point that Fraser's pointed out there, Australia A, hopefully it's going to keep guys in Super Rugby, because now there is, there's that tier. If you don't make the Wallabies, it's like, oh man, I can still make Aussie 8. And if you get a taste for it, it's like, oh man, I'm that close to making the Wallabies.
Yeah.
It's going to capture a lot more guys, and it'll, remove that carrot of the overseas offer to some extent, and keep guys here, which is exciting. I mean, in Australia, it's already sort of proved its purpose, right? With the amount of injuries that the Wallabies have had, it's like, rather than having to try assess guys from club rugby, they've got 3 brutal games that the guys have played. We've already seen Reece Hodge go up, Mark Noah
and went straight into the starting
and
side and didn't look short of a run.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I still wouldn't have picked him, but that's for a different.
That's your opinion, and we respect
show.
that.
Yes, correct.
Don't we, Darwin?
Right, it was pretty heated before you came in here, Fraser.
Yeah, it was getting real fiery.
But, just on your tour phrase, obviously there's a lot of guys putting their hands up on the field, and there's 2 parts to a tour. You got obviously the on-field stuff. So who really stood up for you, on the field, but in training and stuff like that, and then obviously who was really part of that group outside of it who performed really well off the field? So let's go 2 parts. Let's look at the guys.
2-part
you know what I mean?
question.
Who you went over there, he might not have known, and you're really impressed with, and thought, wow, he's been really impressive. And then let's have a chat about the.
Yeah, I think
Could be the same person.
Yeah,
could be. Well, obviously on the field, looking at the squad, obviously I knew a fair few of the boys through 20s and just playing around, and obviously we talked about him before, but it's 2 and 3 games, against Fiji and Tonga-Langi was awesome. He stood up massively, and speaking of Gilly, he's only 20, 21, and he's
20.
And he just said, he was in the system, and we sort of saw him, and so they handed him a few games, and he is a freak. He's so good.
Yeah.
Just athletic and raw as well, so that's awesome. Obviously, another one was probably Huey Sinclair as well. I really enjoyed.
Yes.
I think
Sorry.
he,
Whoa.
Just settle down, man.
Table's moving.
that's it.
No,
You all right?
Sinclair's sick. He was very good. Sorry,
No,
go on,
yeah.
Fraser, I didn't mean to
I
interrupt.
just think he's. I think it was good to have. I think Huey's 29 and he's a bit of an older guy that probably we don't really get to experience too much at the Reds. He's settled down. He's got a bub already, and I think his approach to rugby was quite similar to, I suppose, what Smithies and those sort of boys were. Play a lot of games that are at shoot shield level, come through and earn your stripes. That's what he's done, and he just had this sort of level head about himself. He was serious when he needed to be, but he also enjoyed a joke and was able to get on from that.
Was he the second rower?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. I was wondering who that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of looks like Sloth from the Goonies. But then off the field, as Dow was talking about, who was your man of the match?
Well, there's a few. Obviously, you got different sectors. We got to look at. So Lalakai was awesome because when we went to Nandi, his uncle Stephen was a manager at Cardos at the port in Denarau, which is about 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
It's where all the nice resorts are. So he was able to hook the boys up, and a few times we'd go there, and we went there for dinner as a whole group. It was awesome. You look at Bobby was really good.
Yes.
In terms of just camaraderie around the group. Not
People's champion, mate.
Yeah, loves it. It was really good. Smithy and Hoops are always up there as well. Like
Yeah.
they're always up there. And then there was a few boys, Jeremy from TARS going to the Force as well, Jezza Williams. Yeah, he was really good value as well.
He was a late inclusion, wasn't
Who's
he?
that?
Yeah,
Jeremy Williams.
Jeremy Williams.
What
Yeah,
position?
he's a lock
back row.
back row. Yeah, he's a really funny man. We got along with him really well, and yeah, he was he got that charge down try against Fiji. But yeah, it was great value, and yeah, hopefully we see him again.
Love seeing Bobby over there.
Yeah.
He
is the
He was
man.
pretty pumped with his last little try, wasn't he? Oh, Bobby.
Yeah, he could have given me one, but then I got late shot off the ball and he had a little Swanee. I gave him a bit of stick. I was like, mate, because he scored that last try and I was like, mate, where's the Swanee? He's like, nah, mate, just put it down. And the Swanee's this one. I go,
There was some absolute
get me
carnage
dog
in-
shot in the rib for you to do a try. Come on, mate.
Oh, Lungy did a good one too.
Bone rattling. It was
that
crunched
was
him.
down for a long time.
Yeah.
And he reminds me of
Who?
the guy from the All Artie Sarvea. Oh my god! I was singing. No. Where?
guy?
No, like not the biggest presence, but
Just
like leg drive, tough.
fast.
Yes, he's such a well-rounded footy player that plays so far above his
Just
weight.
leg speed is so
Yeah.
quick. So in contact, whether it's defense or attack, he just makes gain line and just brutal.
Can't
I get
wait.
what you're saying. Yeah.
Thank you, Freeney.
Yep.
Thank you for validating me.
No problem. My opinion.
Phrase, obviously, we got Premier Rugby. Besides brothers, you probably keep a pretty good eye on it. Besides brothers, who can win the comp?
Well, it's quite close, hey. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing we've been talking as well. What is there? 9 points between 1 and 6.
Yeah.
Super close. Obviously, Wesser obviously up there if they can get their like
They're on the
Seru,
slippery slope.
Rebels.
Yeah.
yeah, literally all the Rebels. Seru, Filippo, they're always pretty good. I think Jeeps are always thereabouts. I think I like a bit out there. I think Bond's a bit different. I think
Best attacking team in the
yeah, I think
competition,
they're
man.
definitely-
Most exciting team
yeah,
to watch.
I think they're quite a good
And have been for a
chance
good
to win
3-4
as well.
years.
And I sort of hope they're thereabouts, to be honest, because something fresh. Like obviously the past how many years it's always been Jeeps, Unis thereabouts, Brothers always there, and
Just all the
And
biggest scumbags in the comp.
No.
I get it, man.
oh,
I get it.
Jealous is a
So you're
horrible trait
saying
of
Norths
yours.
and West in the
It's a
final.
horrible trait, mate.
yeah, no. So hopefully Bond, good on him.
Bond would be awesome, and with that second row of Devin Henson and
He's
Angus
massive.
Blythe.
He's so fast.
Mate, and he's
That
so
Devin
aggressive.
so fast.
Is he a
He's so
Sapper?
aggressive.
Is he a Sapper?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a big boy.
Is he the guy who had like a heart issue or something like that? Had to
Did his
stay out.
carotid, didn't he?
Yeah, and then like
What?
had to be out of the game for a while, and then just sort of
He's
yeah,
come
I'll
back
come and
stronger.
play.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's
Interesting.
just he's so angry, man. Him and Angus Blythe, man, just the angriest dudes. I don't get it. All right, now it's time for the best part of the evening. It's time for the Battlers Bench. What's happening?
What is
Well,
this? I'm confused.
What are we going to...
Sit on you, sit on you. This is what I do, I sit on you. Right on your lap. This is what I do, I sit on
This is our
you.
new,
Sit on you,
breaking
sit
news.
on you. This is what I do, I sit on you.
That's you, J-Ball, by the way.
Head.
Righto.
was
Breaking
that?
news, guys.
It was horrible.
What is happening?
You know, I'm probably... That's the
find
crowd I've
these?
been on.
Who was it that said, what is happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, Fred's like, what is happening?
It's the Battlers bench, mate. Expect the unexpected.
Expect the
It's the meat in our sandwich.
Guys, breaking news, big news out of East. They've decided to diversify their field. They're getting their cash streams. It's a partnership between East Tigers Rugby Union Club, Gregor the groundsman, and also TJM, Cooper's Plains, to create an all-in-one rugby and 4x4 adventure park. On a Saturday, the boys tear up the field, and then on a Sunday, the come in and continue. Off-roaders come in and continue tearing it up with some rock sliders, lift kits, and hill assist crawlers. BYO mud flaps, and then push play. There should be some.
Fuck.
Wait,
not-
that's
Wait.
not the one. It goes East Tigers Mud Park. A hell of a day out. Didn't come through.
Technical difficulties.
Very technical. Freeney, you got breaking news?
No.
I was watching Fraser that whole time, just thinking,
No?
what's he going? And he's just like,
I sent it to you.
what
but
the
I thought
fuck is going on, man?
it wasn't good.
Was it good enough?
That was
No idea.
Freeney, your contribution? Okay. No, we're good. No. The Ballymore redevelopment has had a master plan change. Can you just pop that one up there, mate? I didn't realise Fraser would be sitting next to me. It's a 10,000 kVA electric fence. And the Jurassic Park, it's to keep all the players in and keep some
all
of
the players
keep some of the, and also keep some of the other dinosaurs in as well. Didn't realise Fraser would be right next to me this time. I really didn't. Next one.
It took a moment to click until you said it.
That's good. Keep all the players.
Next one. This one's new major sponsor for the Reds next year. Red Rooster. Red Rooster stepped up to the plate for season 2023. We got some slogans like tender loving chicken, it's got to be red, and for the French fans, Le Rouge Le Coq. Fans will be saying the same thing. Oh, I didn't know he'd be next. As if they're looking at the Rebels lineup. I see red. And then
Speculating, of course. We don't know. Who knows what's going to happen?
Speculating.
It's all speculative.
But see,
Greenie was meant to do one as a couple as well.
I panicked. Man.
And then he just goes, I'm having writer's block.
I did. I can't top that.
You didn't even try.
You could probably
Yeah,
try.
you could give it a go.
A simple face swap.
It's called face swap. Back to you, Zachy, in the studio. That's it.
That's it.
Well, I had a couple other things, but we had to count one of them. It was too rude to...
The poncho one's by far.
Yeah, right?
By far.
The poncho one. Maybe next week. I'll do it next week.
I messaged Das last
Huh?
night, and I said, have you got everything sorted for the Battlers bench segment? He said, yeah, got a good one. Full bag. And I went, that's awesome. And he goes, yeah.
I said,
That's-
yeah, boy.
No, you just wrote, yeah.
Oh, I just wrote yeah, so that means...
So that was you
Exactly.
bringing full bag to the
No,
Battlers
if I said
bench.
yeah, boy, then we're on. But I said yeah.
So I wasn't. It's a flat yeah.
Well, because we meant to have...
Mate, I tried. all I came up with is Eddie Jones
did
going to
not-
fight Ian Foster, but it was shit, so I just canned it. I canned it.
Oh, mate.
I'm more improv.
All right, here we go. And yes, and. Go.
Oh, my God. All right. Well,
Sorry, guys.
Let's get this show back
let's
on track.
let's get
Dable.
this shit show back on track. We saw over the weekend there was some pretty viral content coming out of the SCG. Eddie Jones. Did you catch Eddie Jones
Yes.
absolutely laying into Dallin after the game on the weekend?
As he's backing back.
Ah!
That was like Chips Blanche.
It does actually. It does a bit. Man,
another
Eddie
one as well.
Jones made that dude look like
Wow.
a punk
Did he
bitch.
ever?
No, that was awesome. Like,
That dude
Yeah.
shit
If-
his
if-
pants.
If you're going to say something, be prepared to throw hands. You can't just say something and expect the person not to say anything. You know
But
what I
this
mean?
is what needs to happen more, right? Because too many keyboard warriors these days can say whatever they want, and everyone just kind of goes, "Oh, well, yeah, no, you got to do the right thing." But fuck, that's brilliant from Eddie.
Yeah.
It
He's
is.
stepping up
Unreal.
and putting them in right in his place. I think it's fantastic.
Bloody oath. Bloody oath. Hence why I don't go down to West anymore, because I don't want to get in trouble. They'll beat me. No. But, mate, that was sick. That was like the side of Eddie Jones that you hear about, that
Yeah.
Oh,
That-
yeah.
that fuse that can snap, and you could see it in his eyes, man. He was fucking
wanna
fuming.
I remember a couple of the boys at Jeeps the other day were saying, like, it's just like crap chat. And it was to Lacan, and I was saying, boys, you know, if you say something too bad, he'll throw hands, and I was like, I'm not helping you. And they're like, oh, I'm like, mate, at least make it funny, like, don't be personal, like it's just
Appreciate
dumb,
that as
you know
well.
what I
We'll get around it. It was
mean? No,
chat.
I spoke to Lacan after. He was just like, oh no, it was all right, mate. But I just said to the boys, like, just make it funny and witty, like, you know, just said like the stupidest stuff. It's like, come on, mate, you're better than that.
That's like when we went and saw Reds versus Hurricanes. And was it Jimmy Cowan, the halfback?
From the Highlanders.
From the Highlanders. And
What year was this?
Hunter Thomas was like, Jimmy Cowan! And he like looked and went, yeah, mate. And he goes, you're a really good player. I was like, you pussy. But that guy said traitor 3 times, but the first time, and then it slowly got less
Yeah,
and
he
less
went,
on
"You're
the
a
volume.
traitor, Ian."
Traitor.
What'd you say?
Traitor. And then he went, and then he was...
I think some people forget too, like, you know, Eddie Jones, he was a hooker for Randwick and stuff.
Yeah.
He'll throw hands. Like,
Oh, yeah.
He was like, let's go.
Yeah. What'd you say?
Yeah.
So good. I was like, that is awesome.
Eddie has the worst camera angle in that box when he's with the headphone like half over his ear. ear and the eye. You're like,
Yeah.
that is the worst camera angle.
Yeah, worst case of stink eye, permanent stink eye. And then we also, as well, I don't know if you guys have seen this, Peter Amani and Bundy Arkey
Oh, so
Oh.
good.
living it up in New Zealand post victory against the All Blacks. Check this.
I thought it was Hugh Stitt's dad for a minute.
That's awesome.
He's wearing a nudgy blazer.
Check this out.
I love that. I'm a chicken.
That's awesome.
That's good gas, Bundy Arkey nabbing a bit of that
That's
chicken.
so good.
That is sick.
When I first saw that video, I thought it was dead set just some normal patrons. And then I just said, oh, that's Bundy Arkey.
And Peter Amani, dude.
I love that.
Stitt's dad. Hugh
That's
Stitt's
like
dad.
harmless. I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is good gas. That is such good gas seeing that.
Yeah.
Especially after seeing the guy piss off the grandstand at
Oh,
the
what-
SCG.
Yeah, what was that?
He was handed a life ban
saw
from all
that.
Rugby
Yeah.
Australia events today.
He's like a bit
2-year
like,
ban
jumped
from the
from the
SCG.
top of the scoreboard. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a second.
Imagine if he just...
That's what I was
Yeah.
saying, man. Like, imagine if he's like, I'll be right, just jump up,
Whoa.
drops
It
in
had a
front
bit
of
of-
someone waiting for a hot dog. God damn it, man.
Had a bit
Oh.
of dew on the roof and it just slipped. Oh,
Oh, man.
Well,
Would've been a good watch.
apparently, they were that close to shutting down the game, shutting down the SCG. And it was at the 60th minute or something. Someone spotted him up there, and they were about to pull the pin on the whole thing.
How?
The whole game.
Yeah, because if he fell forward, he would have fell onto people.
He still wouldn't hit the... Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he would have fell on. So it was like super dangerous.
Should have tranquilized
Yeah.
him.
I don't
Just
know.
someone up there with a blow dart.
Yeah,
He's still going.
like those videos where they like put a trampoline at the bottom of a tree and shoot a blow dart and a bear at it. Boing, and bounces off and flies through the air. Just put a big
what an
trampoline
idiot.
down the bottom.
What an
It'll be
idiot.
sweet. Alrighty, well that rounds out what was the greatest Battlers Bench segment of all time. It's all downhill from here. Now it's time to review all the footy action from the weekend in Clubland. Round 12 of the Hospital Cup. West and East played at West. Brothers 46, Norths
Let's go.
31.
What'd you say before,
Yeah,
Jay?
we've got it there. West went down 31 to
Tried
37
to get
to
away
the
from that one
Tigers.
quick, didn't ya?
I did. I thought you guys would notice. 46-31 Brothers in the Northside Derby over the Eagles, and 42 plays 19 to South to UQ over South. But the game we want to discuss: Jeeps 19, Bond 17. We were just discussing the fact that Bond are the most exciting attacking team in the competition,
Can't we?
and mate, you can't. Well. Yeah, but they are, mate. I mean, their first try off the back of Connor Pritchard pilfer on their own try line, and then Tyler Campbell going for the
He
quick
was
tap.
good.
Dallin, ridiculous.
He's really starting to show his class. He's been outstanding
I
for
like
them
him, eh?
the last couple of weeks, ever since he's
Yeah.
got back in that starting team. And he's been brilliant. Obviously spent some time overseas, but him and Devin Henson, I think, were pretty special. And this man here on screen, Ravu Taumada, was exceptional.
Ravu Taumada.
Ravu Taumada for Jeeps as well.
And we saw a couple yellow cards here. We saw Angus
Oh.
Blythe
Duncan Mail, very happy with the cards.
dunk the hunk, absolutely showing the cheese. But here it was here. You don't see there. Connor Pritchard with a penalty turnover on his own
Watch this
try
Joey
line.
Fiddick.
He's so fast.
And see you later. Joey Fiddock finishes that one brilliantly.
So
God, he's
fast.
got gas, hey.
So
I didn't realise how fast he was.
I reckon Bond are legitimately the real deal. My only concern about them is their goal kicking.
Mhm.
I don't know if they have a goal kicker to kind of take them all the way.
Well, they're typically what? Hayden Sargent lining up a lot of the time, or Joey
Dan
Fiddock
Boardman at
can.
the moment.
Dan Boardman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think he was a goal kicker. I
I don't think he is a naturally a goal kicker, but he's obviously worked really hard and he goal kicks from the moment.
Nice
I just
jaw
don't know
sets,
have that ability to
We got
get to
Jaden
finals.
fullback, right? Is he
Yeah.
full-
Yeah.
Yeah, Jaden Armanu
How's
at
he
fullback.
going?
And that's the thing.
He's
So
going
Gone
well.
well?
Good footy.
they've lost guys like Dylan Rowe, but they do have Devin Henson. They've got Nixon Taramai, who's stepped up
He's-
and been absolutely
he can whack.
phenomenal. He
He
can
can whack
delete.
dudes.
Talking of someone who plays above his weight, you could see he is just an absolute superstar at the back of the scrum. They've got Tonga Blake absolutely killing it. LD started.
Yeah, Liam Dillon, I'm pretty sure is a goal kicker, isn't he?
Not necessarily, no. I wouldn't say he's a natural goal kicker. Hayden Sargent, I would have thought, would be their number one. But this is what they can do here as well. A quick line-out throw. Their two tries coming off a turnover and a full-length quick tap, and then a quick line-out throw from Dan Bourban finds Hayden Sargent. They are just such great attacking footballers, and the fact that that wasn't called a knock-on is
play on every other week.
crazy to me.
I remember one of the boys was telling me about
ridiculous.
Tyler
Campbell.
being one of the smartest footy players they've played with, and then just watching him, you can see like what
He's
he means.
very
Like,
good.
he's bloody good.
Well, he was the one that took that quick tap.
Yeah.
And you've got to have great rugby knowledge, like a high rugby IQ, and you have to be able to back yourself and have the talent to do so, to be able to do that and set off on a full-length try. So they are the real deal. I'm hoping that they can get it done this year, because for so long they've been the best attacking team. We saw them beat Jeeps a couple years ago in that minor semi, and then
They lost to us.
and then lost to
They'll
East
definitely-
heavily.
They'll definitely send it pretty well after if they did win. I know that for a fact.
Hell yeah, man.
So they 6th. Doing
Hey?
all right? Doing all right?
I
Got a
don't
game
know.
in hand? Got a
I
game
thought
in
I
hand?
put the table on the run sheet, and it's so small I can't see a thing. So I nailed that one. Well done,
you're
Tino.
doing
What the
well.
hell,
So
man?
good.
And then from the Shoot Shield, round 14, some big wins. Gordon back in the winners' circle, 43-34 over South. Uni 36 over the Rats, 25. North's dusted Eastwood, 36-25. The Two Blues going down second week in a row to East, 24-21. Manly, 2 losses on the trot, now outside the top 2.
Was that played at Manly?
It was played at
Mate,
Manly.
get Gregor onto the fields, the groundskeeper there, because it was
No good.
horrendous.
Yeah, it was a shocker. But the game
Westfield's
we want to
actually pretty good,
discuss. Yeah, right. Randwick 34, West Harbour 40. We saw last week West Harbour hand Manly a loss, and this week they've backed it up against the Wicks. I mean, the standard of the competition, you've got Justin Masters here scoring this try early on, but Alofa was the last through the last pass on these first 2. Watch this one. Shoop.
Mate,
He's been massive for
great internationally, and then
For Samoa, I believe.
and
And
uh,
also-
How old is he?
He's 30-something,
Yeah,
35 maybe.
he used to be electric.
33, yeah.
33. We used to play at Harlequins maybe, or somewhere
yeah,
over.
he lost his contract at Bayonne 2 years ago, I think, for an alcohol disciplinary
Yeah, the
issue.
boys.
Yeah.
Just riding the horse.
And then Justin Masters here scoring 2 tries. This one's a perler in the corner.
Debrasini, mate.
And then you've got
Yeah.
Jack Debrasini was absolutely awesome, and Kobe Milne here. But their wingers for the Wicks, Christian Yasmin, scores his 13th try of the season. And then Jackson Mohi, I think, got 2 tries on the weekend as well. So this is no mean feat to knock off the Wicks. And it is from one. So I believe the Two Blues, again, I've got the ladder there, but I can't see it. But the Two Blues are in 10th, and they're 5 points outside the top 6. So they're 1 win away from being a top 5 side.
Really?
That is the congestion
read
that
it on
is. Yeah, sorry about that, boys. I'll
Is
do something about it.
how shoot should work? Top 6 go through.
Yeah.
This
Yes.
year, they
Or the
Isn't
Yeah.
it top 8?
Top 8.
Top
Remember,
eight.
it was
They went from
6, and we
6 to 8.
announced that there was top 6. Previously, it's now top 8.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you've got a side that's 9th. A side that's 9th. What's happening? Keep going. Yeah, we're good. There's just something going off in the background. I think it's Zach Subway. We've got the Shoot Shield. Oh, nice and dark. Yeah, you've got the Shoot Shield competition where you've got a side in 10th that has been maybe the most exciting team in the whole competition, and they're only 1 win outside being in top 5. Like, that right there just highlights how good that competition's going. In West Harbour, you've got Jack Debrasini,
Where's he been?
Alofa killing it.
Debrasini.
Over in Japan a lot.
In Japan, yeah. He was with me for a year at Honda, and then he went to Hino, the
He
Red
can kick,
Dolphins.
man.
He's
Yes.
good, man.
He's can kick.
Well, you
He's
saw him
a
put
super
that crossfield kick in for one of the front rowers as well. So they're exciting too. And just the passion from the West Harbour boys. They absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And hopefully we might be able to get down this weekend, 18-0. Might be able to get around the Battle of the Beaches. Fingers crossed we're going to see what we can do there. Dossie boy, you can't make it, can you?
Sorry, man. Just got commitments here.
This
Yeah.
dude, man. Hates the Shoot Shield. Come on, bro. It's good times, man. It's good times down there.
Maybe if he was going to go watch Jack Debrasini, I probably would have come.
Well, that can be arranged.
No, man, just on Jack, I think, and we've seen a lot of young 10s over the last, 6-7 years just fall a victim of, some being blooded too early. So I think for him, it was a combination. Yes, he was blooded a little bit. He still ended up getting 50-odd caps for the Rebels. But I think someone who was unfairly judged, I mean, playing with him firsthand, mate, the kid's rugby IQ, his time on the ball, the way he sees space on the field was, and I guess I look back at the 10s that I've played with, and I'd probably only put Quade above him in terms of, those 10s that I've played with who have
Dylan sitting right
understood.
there.
I was
Wow.
just about to say, dude.
Well, me and Dal-
Present company excluded.
we never got the opportunity
Oh.
to play on the same
To see
field
Dallin play
together.
good football.
We get it.
That's fair. That's fair.
I would never.
I chose my
that to you,
words
Dal.
wisely, and I said
you're
to
happy
share
with
the
that?
field.
Okay.
Oh, cool,
Dallin's
man.
definitely.
As
up
Freddie
there.
says, it's my opinion. Right?
So Dos,
I'll
you...
pump Dal up right now. I'll
go
pump
on.
Dal up right now.
Okay, go for it.
Your first year at the Reds was 2012, 11, 2011, and so Quade was obviously the starting 10, and there was huge discussion. I mean, they were looking in New Zealand, around here, all over the world. Ewan was around who he was going to bring into the squad that year, and then after watching tape, after watching clips, Quade was like, "We'll take the 10 from Brothers. I think he's the one who most, plays more similarly like me out of anyone that we've looked at.
I thought he would have gone, take the guy from Brothers because
He'll never take my
he'll
spot.
never take my spot.
And he was right.
God damn it.
He's good.
Mate, when you used to play brothers and there was Dal and his brother, you just knew they were just going to be playing very expansive.
Mate, that Brothers...
And then let you know about it.
That was the worst thing about it, mate. Dallin, Dame, Jimmy Harvey.
Yeah, mate.
Gendel wasn't too lippy. He was pretty quiet. Oh, Ed
Right,
Sawyer.
Oh, man.
Pies.
Tony Pies. Just don't run high on the pie. That one.
But yeah. But mate, that's an honest true story. And
He
so
just
there you go,
had
Dal.
always had time,
There you
hey,
go,
very
Dal.
silky.
But yeah, Debrasini, man, he's and a humongous boot as well.
Yeah.
Like I think
He would have been perfect for the Australia race setup.
And I mean, maybe
Yeah.
it was like
Good
he had
point.
Dumper McGahn down there, who was, possibly not the best people manager in his time, maybe a bit too, you don't do this enough, whatever it may be. Maybe if he had a different coach, his career trajectory would have gone in a different direction. But man, I really rate him as a player.
Bloody oath. All right, now it's time for our rugby segment. Starting with Tino. He's not on the blower at the moment, is he? Oh, we thought we were going to have you on the blower. Did you have someone, Tino? What? Josh Van der Fleer. Oh, Josh Van der Fleer, mate. Yeah, he is an absolute gun. Do we have anything for Josh Van der Fleer? No? Okay. We're off to a flyer. Freeney, your rugby from the weekend just gone. Johnny
Just the big
Sexton.
Johnny Sexton, mate. He just is 37 years old. He's just one. Look at him. He's got scoliosis.
Oh,
He's
selling
done
it.
How did you fall for that? Look at him. Perfect.
Yeah, he's got those rolled shoulders.
He just
eh?
needs to look like he needs to get one of the chiropractors on Facebook.
He's got, yeah. Dr. Joseph Cipriano.
On Facebook.
Yeah, he's got hyperkyphosis.
Yeah,
Seen that
and all
video?
the girls wearing like just the skivvies. Are like, mate,
Yeah.
they don't need to wear that.
He's like, just rearrange right down your sacrum, which happens to be right above your asshole.
Anyway, Johnny Sexton, mate, just like fine wine, just directed the boys to a series win in New Zealand, which never been done with them before. So
Bloody oath.
congratulations, mate.
Big Fat Das, your rugby.
Mine is Eddie Jones. It's got to be Ian Foster, but Eddie Jones, just his attitude towards the game. I just love it. The heat was on him after that first game. When he got here, he was talking about the presence of rugby in Australia, like the promotion of the game, and just him trying to push it a bit further or whatever, and he's just an angry guy. He's one of those coaches that you're like, oh, God, don't talk to me.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Just be trying to hide from him.
His press conferences are always good.
Yeah.
The
He's
journalists.
honest. We'll give him that.
Yeah, he doesn't take smack. And he's like a QAnon dude. Like, he'll just happily be like, well, when a red card comes out, the
They
ref
gotta
obviously
even it
tries to level it up, and you're like, what?
That's
He's
definitely
like,
not a thing.
whatever. Yeah, it's just bullshit. I'm like, what is happening? And everyone's like, oh, yeah, it's just Eddie Jones. It's like, what? No, call out on that
When
bullshit.
was it when he lost? When he lost to Australia in the first one, he totally deflected. To the barbars. What about bloody Crease, mate? He's played his bloody 100th game, mate.
Let's focus on that.
That's
right?
what we should focus on. That. How good's that? Everyone's just like, what's going on here?
No, but we've got it teed up. Tino's rugby from the weekend just gone is Josh Van der Fleer. I picked up that first try of the match. He is an absolute gun. Like, just a massive motor and just an absolute nuisance. An absolute nuisance. And pretty much what you would call the modern standard of a 7-dow.
Yeah, very busy. He gets around the park extremely well, but he's got the full skill set, right? Both on and off the ball. And he led him around, I think, like Peter Mahoney did as well. Like, fantastic between those two.
Speaking of...
right.
I was about to say... Imagine if we had one of them in Australia. No,
Come on,
kidding,
Fraser.
Fraser. I was just taking piss. Please don't hurt me. Speaking of Peter O'Mahony, that's your rugby from the weekend just
it
gone
is
down.
pretty fucking special, I think, what he's been able to achieve, like leading him around the park and doing what they've just done in New Zealand is incredible. And he's just super emotional and as you want your Irish captain to be, and I just love what he plays with.
Leading off the field as well with that video we saw. Pretty special.
He's earned it. You saw him after the game, bawling his eyes out. He's the sort of guy that galvanises a side. You know, he's like, you know, an Alan Wynne Jones. You know, that old talismanic leader who just always seems to be there and just doesn't falter. Gets better with age.
100% experience.
Looks like
Pretty
he's held
special.
together with strapping
Just
tape and
battle
bird
hard
shit.
and
Like,
far out.
yeah, he is just an absolute freak. And Doss yours, Freddie Stewart from
Yeah.
England.
Mate, outstanding. Just recognising game here. Under the high ball, probably the best in the world at the moment. He scored. Did he score the try? A beautiful tackle there on Pete Salmon. But I think he's just got, and he scores the try here. It's just an all-round game, mate. He's so solid at the back. They put up those attacking contestable balls. He's chasing them, you know.
Is he 8'3"
getting up.
or
6'5".
how tall is he?
I think
man?
he's
He is-
6'5".
But have you seen anyone under the high ball since like Izzy? They can just dominate like that.
Never
exactly.
drops the pill.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like we look at the game in Australia and you would say that the biggest hole in our Wallabies 15 would be the 15 jersey. Like nothing against Reece Hodge, but does the job. But he's
Yeah,
not.
doesn't do a
you
job.
need
the
a
dominant one.
15 who is a game changer. They're typically a position. You look at all the best sides in the world, and typically their 15 is someone who can blow a game apart. You know, Hugo Keenan, I think, from Ireland,
He was
starting
going.
to
He was
blossom.
outstanding.
Will Jordan, when he plays at fullback, I think is arguably the best player in the world. You've got, typically, if you've got, like Willie LaRue when he was at the box, you know, you've got a 15 who can literally inject themselves in the game and just blow it apart.
But I also think it's mistake-free, right?
Yep.
So, like Freddie Stewart, he doesn't miss a catch. He's almost like 100% on all his tackles. Beats the first defender all the time. Like, his kicks are so spot on. It's that consistency at the back
Correct.
that you need. And I feel like, you know, we need someone there. I know we've got someone, do you know what I mean? In Jock Campbell, in my opinion. But, like, that's what rugby needs here.
100% agree,
consistency.
man. I'm like, when Pattaya goes injured, yeah, he's earned the right to play. I mean, you know, we, during the show, during Super Rugby, when Geordie was playing at 15 and Jock was on the wing, we would openly said on the show, they need to swap. Like, Jock, man, at 15, I'd like to know when Pattaya got injured, Banksy got injured, the opportunity was there. It's like, what's the conversation like? Like, where is the justification maybe his experience, but bringing Reece Hodge when you've got Jock Campbell there, who has consistently been outstanding in Super Rugby, mate. And then the question mark over his physicality, didn't shirk any of that stuff in the Pacific Nations, and it's just like, what more can he do? His skill set is far superior, in my opinion, to Reece Hodges, and it's like, what does he have to do, man?
Well, you'd have to say he's done enough now. He's played at that high standard against 3 international sides and has stepped up. So hopefully that is the system that can highlight that he does deserve that shot.
Yeah.
Speaking of consistent, my rugby from the weekend just gone. It kills me to say it's Eli Pills from the Tigers, mate. He is a freak of the highest regard and just... You can't find any more level-headed halfback. Watch this.
Look at this, man.
This is to win the game. See you
Look at
later.
that.
Stick that up your chutney. Jake Pappen goes over, scores a try. 70th minute, gets that turnover on his own 22 with the doggies coming through. Like, shot the lights out off the tee. Kills me so much, man, because he's such a good dude too. But he fucking crucified the doggies on the weekend.
He's good at the moment, mate. Like, they had a slow start.
Yeah, I know that,
They just needed
man.
a couple more-
It kills me,
They
man.
just
I think
needed a
he's
couple
aware.
more pieces of the puzzle to fall in, and it's happened.
But
What,
man,
they've
no
got-
coincidence that their turnaround in form has corresponded with Pilsy coming back.
Yeah, 100%.
absolutely.
Mate, he's as tough as they come. He just needs to He's had a torrid injury run over the last 4 or 5 years. He just hopefully can stay injury free, keep playing footy the way that he has been. And he's only 24, 25. At the end of the day, still got lots of footy left in him.
It's good what you said though. Like I think it was towards the beginning of the season how Benny Moen was just like, we just want to get our process right, and then if we start winning, we start winning. But he was sort of like a bit of a ground.
Yeah, he was.
You know what I mean?
He was happy with where they were at, and they were just losing little moments within the games, which were resulting in losses.
Yeah,
Would have been good if he came back this week. Just saying.
Anyway, you got to get over it. Man.
You do need to
Happens,
get over it, man.
But this is what
strong.
happens.
Have some conviction.
No,
about
Finally.
Back him, mate. You're just
No.
going to
Nah,
back
the
him.
doggies are going to
Don't turn
go
on
all the
him.
way. No, I'm
Don't
not
turn
doubting
on
them.
him.
Don't turn
No,
on
but
him.
they
You
win
are.
when I rag on them. So
No, they don't.
watch this. Doggies can kiss my ass, and watch this. They're going to win this weekend, so you're welcome.
Who are they playing?
I don't know. I can't remember. Who are they playing this weekend? What have I done?
You got to buy.
You then gave me a compliment.
We got to buy.
Oh, have they got the bye?
Boys.
Yeah, they're going to win.
There we
back
go.
it.
Well,
You
let's
gotta
just
back
say
them
they're
to
not
the
going to lose. Yeah, the boys. All right, well, that rounds out this week's episode of the PAC Show. It's been an absolute delight. It's been fantastic having Doss and Dallin and Big Fat Das, maybe Fraser McWright, thank you so much for joining us. Round of applause. Give him a hug and a kiss. Big Tino for teeing up all the highlights and getting this show up and running. And Zachy Boy on the ones and twos. Couldn't do it without you. Let's get this man a Subway because he's starving to death. My name's Shay Boy, and we'll see you next week. Stay safe. Have a good one.